How sweet the sound.
Begin with a few ohms. Do a few rounds of Ganesha's Mula Mantra, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye. Upanishad Peace Mantra. Namovaha Sadavaha. Swagatam Sadavaha. Welcome, all you beautiful people, and may you find blessings upon your journey. Namovaha. I practice out of love for myself to learn the truth for the benefit of all beings. Om. Well, good morning, everyone. We had sunlight at this time last week. We'll see how that works out. It was quite spectacular towards the end, actually. Well, why don't we find a comfortable seat? I am going to take a kneeling seat. And I'm going to kneel on a little block. I don't think we're going to need much in the way of any props today at all. We're going to be rolling around some in complex ways. But just find a comfortable way. If you're sitting cross-legged, that's fine, but try to get your hip bones, which are right here, above your knees. And this allows the belly to expand so that the pelvis comes into that position where the sits bones are bearing the weight. And the sits bones are like the bottom of a rocking chair. The sits bones are little rockers. They're kind of flattened on the bottom there for just this, for just sitting and allowing the breath to be free and easy. And for the breath to be free and easy, the pelvis has to be free and easy. The ribs have to be open and free and easy. And the shoulders have to be open and free and easy, as well as the pelvic floor. So there's a lot of ease in sitting. It's asana. Right? The whole purpose of yoga is to be able to sit for very long periods of time, comfortable. To be so in tune with your physical body that you can just allow it to move and trust it to move and to sit. Trust is the big thing in our body. This is why we want to hold it together. We're afraid it's going to fall apart. Chronic tension in our body. Begin to allow this seat to become a platform for expansion and contraction of your entire body. In any way that feels comfortable for you. There's no correct way to breathing. There's no incorrect way to breathe as long as you are breathing. In this class, we really don't want to hold our breath at all. We may notice there are natural pauses in the breath cycle. If we're relaxed in doing something and we actually pay attention to our breath, we'll notice we don't really breathe that much. We only breathe a lot when we're paying attention to it. So the secret is to listen to your breath without obsessing on your breath. A lot of yogis obsess on their breath. There's this thing called prana disease. It's a real thing. You get so tied up in your breath that you can't breathe anymore. You're so worried about how you're breathing that you've lost the ability to breathe. It's not a cognitive process. It's a deeper process. So let's practice releasing our body for the breath by doing a little Kapalabhati breathing, getting control of the lower pelvis, the belly, the lower belly, right in the center of the pelvis, the region of the kunda. And for just a few soft, easy breaths, feel a nice big expansion down there in the belly, lower belly. Allow the rest of the body to conform to the expansion of the lower belly, and then slowly let that go. By drawing a gentle draw in the center of the pelvis, back towards the sacrum. And you can feel the pelvis roll because of that. Allow the pelvis to roll. It's part of the breathing process. Then begin to allow the inhale to expand. Feel the expansion come up into the upper belly, to the lower chest, under the shoulders, into the armpits, and slowly release. And now the next time we inhale, we're going to inhale fully, but not to fullness, just feeling satiated with the breath. And then let about halfway out, and then sharply draw the lower belly in. Open up the nostrils and allow the breath to come out. Release the belly without inhaling. Keep your nostrils open and you'll refill. So we're going to do this very slowly. People try to get crazy with this. They don't have control over it. They're sounding like a freight train or something, and they're not doing Kapalabhati. They're doing something else. I can watch their body. So it's just this. It's in and up. Shoulders don't really move. They just move with the torso. We're going to do this for 3 minutes. Inhale. Halfway out. No faster than I'm going. I'm going fast. Purely relaxing on the inhale. Think about flaring your nostrils. Slightly. I sometimes like to bring my arms behind me a little bit. Helps to open the shoulders, open the chest. Feel the lift in your chest as you're doing this. If we're sitting like this, it doesn't work. You have to have the chest open. Another way to sit is with the hands in the thigh creases. Elbows out, gently drawing away from each other, and you can have a finger mudra if you like. Maintain your awareness from your breath. Allow your breath passages to be open. There's a Tibetan yoga where they do this. This is where I got this from, but they straighten their elbows completely out. And over time, they can get their back completely straight with their elbows straight. I don't think it's a healthy thing. I don't think that's a healthy thing. But you want this uprightness in your body when we're breathing. We don't breathe this way. We've actually shut down mainly the primary breathing apparatus, the diaphragm. As soon as you go like this, you have no control over the diaphragm. This is teaching us control. This is teaching us to completely relax the diaphragm. The only way we can control something is if we can relax it. You have no control over something that you can't relax. This is something that's missed in the modern yoga world. It's not about the movement. If you cannot relax completely, you have no control over your body. It doesn't matter what you can do in space. If you can't relax, you're locked into a position. And that's not what this is about. So allow that to relax while controlling the uprightness with the pelvic floor and the lower, in the kunda area, this lower area of the pelvis. This is where we want to learn to move from down here. This is the center of the body. Somatic yoga is about, a lot of it's about the 5 points, the 5 lines, 2 arms, 2 legs, and and the stick in the middle. And where the places where they meet are the places that we want to pay attention to. The 3-year-old's vision of a human is what we want right now, is those connecting points in our body. So why don't we come on to our backs? Just lie on your back, extend your legs out long, whatever feels right for you. Arms at the side, you can have palms up or palms down. Let's bring the arms to the side of the body. So we're in this kind of simulated standing position, right? We're standing, but we're horizontal. And when we stand, we don't stand with our arms out to the side. We want to train our body to be upright in gravity in the absence of gravity. So allow the arms to be near the side of the body, palms down, palms up. Check in with the back of your head, check in with the back of your heels. Feel the connection between the back of your heels and your back of your head. Give yourself permission to gently move, but not a lot, just little wiggles in your body. Sometimes I will allow my heels to be heavy on the floor and move my toes back and forth and allow the energy to propagate up and down my skeleton. Feel my skeleton moving on top of the flesh and the connective tissue. The connection isn't really all that tight. Bones can move underneath the soft tissue. See if you can feel that in your body with just a little bit of movement. See if you can feel any movement anywhere as a ripple that spreads out like throwing a pebble into a pond. Any little, even the intention of a movement, or the bringing your awareness to a joint or a part of the body, it creates an intention in the body. It creates an awareness, an alertness in the body, preparing it for what comes next. This all happens in our head. The body actually, contracts. It gets ready to move without actually moving. This is the organization of the body to move. And this is the pattern that we set for the movement that comes after that. If we don't begin from a place of relaxation or a place of ease, then we're going to carry that tension through the whole movement, and the movement's going to be, the experience is going to be very different. So now, let's bring our feet to standing. Find a comfortable place for the feet to stand. And maybe just begin to make the left foot just a little bit heavier on the floor. Not to press down to lift anything or to roll, but just to feel the weight of the foot and then relax it. We're talking maybe an ounce of difference. This is that intention of bringing weight to the foot. Just do that several times. The intention, and bring the intention from the foot, as if your center of awareness were in your foot. How does this feel? Bring your imagination, bring your awareness into the foot as you make it a little heavier and a little bit softer. And now bring that center of awareness up into the ankle. How does that feel? Is the ankle engaging? Is the space of the ankle changing? Can I feel contraction in the ankle? Can I let it be relaxed? And now bring that center of awareness of your entire universe into your left knee. How does that gentle change in pressure in the foot change the shape, the volume, the interaction of the knee? And then bring your awareness into the left pelvis, to the left hip. The same movement. So you can start to feel that rippling of intention throughout your entire body. This is just in the field of awareness. This is not even a physical practice yet. This is just an awareness practice. Now bring that awareness over to the right foot. Bring your center of awareness as if your processes, all your senses were directly connected into your foot. And your whole recognition of the universe around you comes through your right foot. How does this feel to bring a little pressure into the foot and release? How does the shape of the foot change? How does that organization with the solid surface feel? And then bring that awareness into the ankle. How does that feel? Without words, without story, leaving the ego behind. How does it feel different than the left side? And then bring the awareness into your knee. The right knee, we're on the right side. And then into the pelvis on the right side. Just gently allowing the right foot to become a little bit heavier. And now bring your awareness as you're pressing the right foot down a little bit and lifting a little bit. Not really pressing and lifting, just intention. How does that change the relationship between the left foot and the floor? How does that change the relationship between the back of your head and the floor? Just awareness, not right and wrong. Everyone's going to feel this differently, and maybe you're not feeling any of this. Somatic yoga is an advanced practice. You have to be able to focus. The whole object is to focus, is to bring awareness into the most sophisticated thing that we know of in the universe, our bodies. There's nothing more sophisticated than we know. All right, now, just reach your right hand towards your left heel and your left heel towards your right hand so that you can take your left heel into your right hand. So whatever that means to you. And if you don't go all the way, that's fine. If you get the hand to the knee the first time, just bring it there and then bring it back to relaxation. All right, so this is a practice movement. Just notice how your body's changing. And so we're going to reach the right hand towards the right heel. Just do that several times. Just continue on. You're just totally relaxed. Going to bring the left hand, what did I say? Right hand to the left heel. Just something like this. And then bring the hand back down. The right hand to the left heel. And find total relaxation. And then bring the heel back to the hand. If you're only going to the ankle, fine. If you have pants on and you grab the pant leg, that's fine. You can grab the knee, back of the knee. Wherever you can go with your body without compromising the smoothness and the ease of the movement. Once we've gone beyond the smoothness and the easiness of the movement, we say to ourselves, movement is supposed to be difficult. It's supposed to be work. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. Well, it's not. It's supposed to be natural and easy. We've trained ourselves from a very young age to be engaged and tight. Faster is better, bigger is better. And those are all just little stories we tell ourselves. So next time that you have your left heel in your right hand, or wherever you are, the ankle, anywhere along the lower leg, bring the left hand behind the head. The elbows out. My elbow's on a dog, but maybe it could be on the floor. And then I'm going to ask you to gently begin to bring your left elbow towards your left heel, and your left heel towards your right elbow, just gently. You're not moving a lot. Maybe just the intention of moving. Allow your awareness to extend throughout your body. Notice how you, as you do this, how the way your body bears the weight, the points of contact, and the amount of weight in those points of contact changes with the floor as we take this gentle movement. So it's elbow and nose towards the heel. And you might start doing things like allowing the knee to straighten out as you move the heel up. Just slow and easy. It's about the experience and the curiosity. How does this work? Now try to keep your arms involved if you can. This is all about this organization of the body. Start to notice as you're doing this what's happening to the left side of your body. What's happening to the left side of your spine? Compare that with what's happening at the right side of your spine. You might feel one side lengthening, the other side shortening. And whenever it's right for you, I haven't mentioned this yet, whenever it's right for you, go ahead and begin to take a break. The breaks are more important in the movement. It's finding neutral that's important. If you're always in high gear, well, I don't know if you've ever driven a standard transmission, but if you're in high gear and try to go up a hill, it's not going to work, right? So get in that granny gear here and feel every turn. And notice what's happening with your spine. This is a very complex movement. Allow your body to roll a little bit, keeping that right foot on the floor, but notice maybe if I roll a little bit to the right, bring the heel a little bit more to the right, the head a little bit more to the right, I roll to the right side of my body. I begin to move everything a little bit towards the left. My weight shifts to the left. I can allow my body to soften into the earth. And then go ahead and release everything. Extend the legs. Bring the arms to the side of the body. And listen. Bring your full awareness, all of your senses, external senses, internal senses. Allow them all to completely focus on how does it feel to be me lying on this floor right now? How does it feel to have a body? How does it feel for this body to lie on the floor? All this without a story. How does it feel to be breathing? How does it feel to be curious about how does it feel? Now let's bring the legs back to standing, and we'll do that same kind of movement on the other side. Now I like my knees to be over the heels so that my feet feel like they're standing, like I was actually standing up. I can feel the contact along the under surface of the feet. And I can even notice, and bring your awareness to this on your feet, what part of your feet are making contact with the floor, and what part of your feet are making less of a contact. Where is the weight being held? How does that compare from left to right? And then begin to reach for your right heel with your left hand. So between the legs, just towards it. Maybe you don't get there. Maybe you don't get there at all today. That's all fine. It's a process. But for sure, when you were like 6 months old, you were doing this very stuff, right? You were doing this. Checking this sophisticated machine that you've been given out a little bit. So when you're ready, just start to move the right elbow with the hand behind the head towards the right heel. If you grab a toe, that's fine. Wherever you grab it, in fact, that's a way we could take this deeper. What's the difference from grabbing the heel of my foot as I'm doing this? This is not a sit-up or a crunch or anything. This is not about the abs at all. This has nothing to do with the abdominals. In fact, most of the movement's coming from your chest to your ribs, allowing your ribs to soften down towards your belly. And then there's some lower pelvis engagement here. The belly's engaged, but it's not a belly activity. Allow your body to move around a little bit. Maybe allow the heel to come towards the ceiling, a little bit to the right. Notice how your spine is engaging to move your body, to lift it, to stabilize. Every time we move one part of the body, everything else is stabilizing. And stabilizing doesn't mean stiffening, it means accommodating. All right, so go ahead and allow that side to come down. Extend your legs once again. rest on the floor. Just noticing the difference between sides. The way we learn, the way we bodily learn is through comparison. Comparison of our body with itself, one part with another part of the body through time, and we compare ourselves with other people using our mirror neurons. So let's bring the legs back to standing. And let's go ahead and bring the right hand to the left foot once again. We bring the hand behind the head once again. And maybe just allow ourselves to roll from one side to the other. Once again, anywhere on the leg is fine. Just try to keep the connection so we can feel as the arm's reaching for the heel and the heel's reaching for the arm. We can feel the back take that shape. Now let's lift, come onto our back, and let's lift the right leg a little bit. And maybe start swinging that around. So as we lift our head, we can kick the leg out. Maybe the head stays up. Maybe we can find ourselves up in a seated position. Just rolling a little bit. Don't force it. We're not trying to really get to a seat here. We're going to allow it to occur naturally, smoothly, easily. We're going to try to minimize the amount of movement we're actually doing. Okay? So, use the movement of weight, counterbalancing. Allow your back to be round. Feet coming forward, your head's coming forward, everything's coming forward in your body. It's all about counterbalance. So sometimes you see people that kind of lift themselves to roll forward, but that is like the worst thing you can do for your back. Unless you can do this first and develop that strength, then you can go from lying right to standing, right? And we might do some of that today. We'll see how this goes. So just do it until you start to feel that the quality of the movement begins to diminish. So don't try to take it beyond, don't take it to exhaustion, don't even take it to tiredness. Just take it to where the movement's not smooth anymore and stop. Stop, lay back down, relax, start again. Okay, don't keep pushing through. This is a very Western idea. Keep pushing through, keep pushing through, keep pushing through. It doesn't matter how you destroy your joints, your connections. It doesn't matter. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. If you fall 200 times, fall 201. You might hear that in yoga classes from people that don't practice yoga. Now, just go ahead and stop. Go ahead and stop. Lay back down. Lay back down. Relax. Relax. Let it go. Don't get attached. No aversion, no attachment. Patanjali teaches us that. You don't get attached to this stuff. The only reason we do this is to lose attachment. Now let's come to the other side. Let's bring both knees up. And now we're going to reach for the right heel with the left foot. Just do that a couple times. Lift your head a couple times. And then you hold that position. So once you're up like this, you're going to hold this position so that the back is round, the ribs are soft, the front ribs are soft, pressing down towards the belly. This is where we get the energy. Left foot comes up, and just swing a few times. Just get a rock. Try to make your back like the bottom of a rocking chair. Slowly and easily. When you come up and you're almost up, don't try to come up. Come back down. Don't come up until you're all the way up. Until you're on that point where you're beyond falling back. Because this is where you're going to torque your back to try to get yourself up that last little centimeter, and that's where you're going to get hurt. Okay. roll back down. When your body's ready to come up, it will come up. And then you'll be able to like just come up and stand on one foot from this. You can just come right up and stand on one foot once you get the movement down, and then just come right back down. It's all about ways to get off the floor. If your human body can get up and down off the floor, there isn't anything you can't do. Don't force it. I see some determination. I see determined looks in people's eyes. There's no destination. There's no destination. In fact, we all have the same destination, right? We're all going to die. It's only what happens in between. There's no destination in between. It's just life. Go ahead and drop it. Don't keep doing it. Let it go, let it go, let it go. There's a Zumba class where it'll keep you going. Let it go. And there's a time for that. There's a place for that. But if your body's not operating smoothly, then doing that stuff isn't going to help you. All right, so are you ready for the next level of this? Now, let's go back to the other side. So the right hand to the left heel, left hand behind the head. And now, let's find a seat from here. And if it doesn't happen after, a few minutes, then let it go. Okay, just let it go. But eventually you want to be in a seated position with the left heel still in the right hand. Don't try so hard. The harder you try on stuff like this, the more you're going to engage muscles that need to be relaxed. It's never about what to engage, because your body's ready to engage every muscle every second. It's what can you let go of to facilitate the movement. It's a much deeper investigation. So come on up to seating. Come on up to seating. Everyone come up to seating. We'll do the same thing. So we still have, and I have my right leg out, if it's more comfortable for you to be somewhere else, but this is kind of where we're going with this. So just go ahead and maybe allow your left leg to lift a little bit with your right hand. Just a little bit here. And maybe you can lift it up, and maybe you can come out over that knee a little bit. Maybe you can come back a little bit. And maybe you can come forward a little bit. Allow that leg, just whatever's right for you. You can make this a total knee. So if you can come out like this over that knee, see what you can do about just allowing the leg to be on the floor. Let's see if I can come back where you can see me a little bit better. I should probably turn that down a little. So my left leg is on the floor. I'm kind of leaning out over it. I'm just moving this leg out. And then maybe I can move to this side a little bit and see what I can do. Or maybe I can come out front. Just whatever movement is within me. I don't have a lot of movement here. I don't have a lot of movement in this side of my pelvis. Just explore this movement in your body. And then maybe you can bring this up and bring maybe a hand underneath here and see what that's like. So I have this hand underneath the knee on the floor. Maybe I can lay out like this. And begin to allow my body to start to assume these shapes. Maybe you're starting to recognize something that you might see in an asana class here. But they'll just bring you right into this without getting your body ready. Find what's right for you. You lift again. All right, this is a yoga pose, right? This kind of thing. Kind of, right? You might do something like this in a yoga class or something. Just out of nowhere. See how this feels in your body. Working the hip joint a little bit different way. Come on to your back and relax. Take a break. Take a break. My favorite part of a job, break time. And let yourself completely go. Just bring your awareness to the connection once again between the back of your head and the back of your heels. And maybe notice or recognize any difference that may have occurred over the last half hour or so. Let's bring the knees back to standing. And now we will bring the right hand behind the head, left hand, the right heel, and just come to seated. Whatever's going to work for us today in this seated position. See, what you can do once this becomes right for you, you can just come right into these kind of positions like this. You can start to move your body in all of these very complex ways that are individual for you. Right? We're learning the limitations, our current limitations in this moment of the movement of our body. We can feel where we're opening, where we're engaging. So everybody come on up to seated now with the right heel and the left hand. The left leg is more or less out there. You can notice how that left leg is lying. You can notice how this left leg has to engage differently with the earth as I move this right leg around like this. There's a tip, my heel, and the contact with the heel, the contact with the knee on the floor is very different. So first of all, we're just allowing the lotion of motion to lubricate our joints, preparing them for the day. Whatever kind of movement that's right for you, you can come out like this again, hand wherever it needs to be. You can start just slow and easy though. You're seeing me, this is why I really don't like to demonstrate this stuff. Because I would never move this much if I were doing this in my head. It would just be small, very, very slow movements, maybe even several breaths. And notice just how it's very different depending on how you make the movement. To extend the leg, there's different ways to extend the leg. Maybe play around with some of those. You can bring the hand to the outside of the foot. You don't have to keep it on the heel. It's a very different organization throughout your entire body. And then let's go ahead and bring that right knee to standing and see what we can do about beginning to work that right arm under there. Just like we did on the other side. We're not going to do it all at once. Maybe straighten the leg out. Move the leg in different positions. Move the arm in different positions. Just being very careful that we don't put weight on the elbow in the opposite direction. You can bring your hand wherever you want. This is self-exploration. Notice how you're in a seated position. Notice what your sits bones are doing. Is your pelvis tilting one way or another? It's not right or wrong. Just what is it doing? Do you know? What is that communication with your body like? And for most of us, it's pretty damn bad. All right, let's go ahead and relax that for a moment. Let's lie back down onto our backs, take a little break, feel those sensations. We're going to take this a little bit further. Become aware of that connection between the back of your head and your heels. Find the line that goes from the back of your head so you can feel the back of your vertebrae on the floor. Where can you feel that? And where do you feel a distance between your spine and the floor? And let's come back towards a seated position. Let's just come into a seated position. Let's not bother rolling up. And find a position something like this. With both legs up, and maybe you can try bringing both arms under. Has ever seen this pose before? Tortoise pose. So here's how this one works, okay? Get wherever you can. If you're back up here, come back up here. Don't try to round your back. This will round the back, but we don't want to start with a rounded back. We want to start with a long back coming forward. But just start someplace that's comfortable for you. And the first thing you do is start to slide the feet out and slide the feet back. So we're supporting ourselves with our hands a little bit. Just start to feel this engagement here with the arms out underneath. And then you can start to let the hands go a little bit with it. So we can feel the resistance of the surface we're on, and some people like sliders for this stuff to be on a hard surface and put a towel or something underneath so that the feet slide. I like the sensations, and I like the frictional. And then you can start to bring the arms, keep the knees, the feet pretty stationary, and start to fold underneath a little bit, underneath the knees. Wherever that is, back is flat. You see me looking up. Don't look up. Keep the chin more or less tucked so that you can feel the back of your head in line with the space of your sacrum. And just a few, and you can start going one direction, start rolling another direction. Maybe you can straighten out one leg and roll one direction with the arm, bring all that back, and then go the other direction. Really feel the contact between your arm and your leg here. Ultimately, well, not ultimately, but at some point in time you might find yourself in a pose like this. And let's bring the knees up. Let's try a little bit of a modification on this, a little bit of a variation, because what I showed you isn't the full pose. So as you come forward, see if you can find a place where you can turn your palm up. One hand, turn the palm up on the other hand. Be very careful here. You got a lot of sensitive tissue. If it's not going to turn, don't. Bring it more forward. The further back you take it, the more difficult it's going to be to turn, to rotate the shoulder while the arm's under the leg. All right. But this is something that, even if you're way up here, just try to find that. Because this pose, see if you can bring a hand back to so my right hand's coming around. I can grab my butt. Left hand's coming around. Grab my butt there. This is a big internal rotation of the shoulder joint. Don't force this. This is not a destination. Because, this is one of those destinations that you can get on that cruise and you're going to be stuck on there for 3 months with COVID or something. This is shoulders we're talking about here. This is very easy work. Because eventually this pose is your hands are actually interlaced behind your back and you come forward. Okay, but we're not going there. That's not the goal of this. This is not a posture-centered practice, but it's towards these postures. All right, why don't we come onto our backs and relax a little bit. Yeah. You really have, it's one of those things that you really have to slowly over years work your body towards. Slowly. Because you can see, I've seen people who force their bodies into this when they're 20 and then by the time they're 40 they can hardly move. It's just not the kind of stuff you want to do. It's not the destination, it's the journey. And it's always the journey. So relax, relax, relax. Lay down, relax. Stretch it out, feel how your body is. We're not done yet. All right, so let's come to standing. Standing, they say. I don't think we're going to get that dramatic sunlight this way. Come to standing. But first of all, just find your feet. Maybe walk around a little bit. Just a little bit. See if you can feel the contact of your feet with the earth. How maybe one side's different than the other. How as you step on one foot and lift the other foot, how stable do you feel? Is it the same stability you feel on the other side as you take a step? What part of your foot touches the floor first in a step? Where do you push off from? Can you feel your pinky toe on the floor when you're walking? These are just questions that we can ask ourselves. But now back to the practice. Just find a comfortable place. Your legs maybe a little bit wider than hip width, a little bit wider than shoulder width, whatever that is for you. And I'm all about finding that length in my body. The human body's meant to be long, not short. We never want to shorten to do something. We always want to lengthen. So let's begin to maybe bend the knees a little bit and just reach the right hand towards the left heel. And then come back up. Slowly and easily. How are we coming up? We're coming down. We can feel our heels. The weight is going back. My eyes are going up. And then I'm reaching to the left heel. Pressing down through the heels. Using my leg muscles to push me up, and my body naturally comes up. Okay, so down and back up. Okay. And now let's just go on down and pretty much stay down for a minute. And maybe bring the right hand behind the right heel. And just feel that space. Begin to reach around over here. Just see how that feels. Feel the contact between your upper right arm and your upper right leg there. Maybe you can even sit down on this a little bit, bring a little bit of weight into the right arm. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but I'm kind of squatting down on this right arm. My right elbow's bent a little bit, bringing a little bit of weight into it. Just back and forth a little bit. Whatever feels like we're creating a movement that's lubricating our body. And then let's go ahead and press our way back up. Once again, pressing into the heels to lift. Let's go ahead and shake that out a little bit. You okay? All right, so we're going to do the same thing on the other side now. Begin to come down, the left hand, both hands down. Bring the left hand behind the right foot someplace over here. And then just start moving your body around a little bit. Both hands down, and you can start to bring a little bit of weight from the left thigh onto the upper left arm. So this is almost kind of like a, I don't know. It's really nothing like a crow pose, I guess. But we are supporting the weight with the upper arm here, just a little bit. Feeling that connection. You can roll the shoulder a little bit in here while it's bearing weight. Just little itty bits. Come on back up. Come on back up. We don't want to spend too much time like that right now. Walk around a little bit. All right. So now, let's come on back down and bring both hands behind the feet somehow. And how can you organize your body so that you can lift like one hand or the other hand? And maybe can you get in a way that you can lift the foot, or maybe the other foot, or maybe both feet. Shift your body weight. There you go. And it's not a destination to lift your foot. And then try the other foot. One may be easier than the other. There you go. Let yourself fall back. Exactly. You're in the perfect position to fall back. This is exactly where we're going. So when we're back here with the hands behind, find that position where your hands feel good on the floor. And then just sit and let the legs come up. And when you fall back, fall back. And then what can you do? Let's try something else. We're running out of time. Let me show you something else to work on. Let's come on back to a seated position. And come into kind of like a Baddha Konasana. But bring your heels, both heels, into the palms. We can do this one palm at a time and do this stuff too, but we'll kind of Just let yourself come back. Forward, forward, and up. And this is this place, there's a strong connection between the upper arms, the outer upper arms and the inner legs. When you make this connection, you've got a cycle of energy between your thighs and your upper arms that allow you just to roll without momentum. It's all this engagement right here between the legs and the arms. Okay, and then maybe, once you practice that for a while, you might be able to find yourself, when you fall from this, to be able to come right back into it. Keep your hands in front of you now. Let go of the heels. Let me show you this. So when you fall backwards, you can just come. Well, I'm not going to do it right now. I'm not doing it today. You just roll right back into the position. And once again, without a destination, allow yourself to roll back if you're not going to make it. Don't try to force it. This is where we get hurt, is in that last millimeter. And you never get that millimeter back. Once you've gone that extra millimeter, you wish you didn't. It's child's play. It's just child's play. All right, why don't we lay back down here? We'll take a sure little Shavasana. This class might even need one, huh? So lay down. Let your breath take your way. Last routine. Namaskar. And as you leave people on Shavasana, to rise on your own time, not on the clock time.